strategies that make community growth as easy as scrolling TikTok. Packed with real deal tips on funding and partnerships, it's like having a cheat code for economic success. Attended one, and it felt like leveling up in a game. Suddenly, everything clicked. Join now and watch your community thrive like a viral trend.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Secure Your Energy page. You're here with your host, Miss Grace, or you can call me Lady Lashley. And you know what we do every Wednesday? I got my stool today, guys. We're about to deep dive. If you don't know what we do every Wednesday is we're at the Fulton County Library where we host economic development seminars, okay, guys? And we're on week 5, okay? Five. Our goal with our economic development seminars is not only to empower you with concepts that you actually can move forward and use, actionable concepts, but also we're going to be giving you the keys you need to create a business plan that is successful. So if you don't know, let's get it started, guys. Get your pen and paper. We're going to be breaking down a lot in this 1 hour, okay? When you come in, please hit the like button. And thank you for everyone who has been attending. Again, we are partnered up with the Fulton County Library where we host economic development seminars. My name is Lashley, every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. All right, so we start off with the concept of securing your energies, asset versus liabilities. In this seminar, we focus on just building the building blocks to focus on doing our due diligence, recalibrating our mindset about finances, about how to manage our bills, how to budget and save, and actually come up with a personal plan. At the beginning of the seminar, come up with a personal plan to start paying off our bills, making sure that we are in the lendable position when we're done creating our business plan and we're moving forward to create a lucrative business, because you have to start there. So that's why we start off what was assets versus liabilities, throwing out many concepts that we thought that will help you kind of restructurize your budget and savings plan. Okay, so if you don't know, that was week 1. All right, so now we're in month 2, and our objective this month, as I told you, to build bridges and lift up your mindset with key of investing, increasing the workforce development in your community and for your business, as well as passing down generational wealth. So that's kind of what we're going to sum up today, because next week we're going to move full-fledged into the business plan. So today, guys, I need you guys to get whatever business plan layout that you guys like, that you can edit, and then we're going to add more, because what I see with business plan, just giving you a heads up, the two part of a business plan I feel that is lacking is marketing and also finance. So let's get to it. What we're trying to do, or what we're doing, is creating leaders, lifting up economic development strategies for the middle class community. So I want you guys to understand the challenges and why we're talking about this. We have lack of access to capital, and these are some of the things that you want to think about now, because this is about community development, empowering you as the business owner to come up with concepts not only to expand your business idea, but also to connect with the government, to tell the government the things that you need. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to focus on outside of just creating your business, because for us to basically, how can I say, grab economy by the balls and get control of it as the middleman, we have to be in the game, and we have to think like them. And who is them? The rich and elite, the ones who are running, the ones who plan, strategize, and have 3 or 4 plans. So that's what we're doing here. All right, so we want to talk about the lack of capital, understand why we have that in our particular community, and how we can move forward to push public officials to aim for programs that's going to create more business forward sectors. We want to focus in on skill gap, because there's a big skill gap. A mismatch between the skills needed for available jobs and skills possessed by the local workforce can lead to a high employment rate, high unemployment. So So these are some of the things that you want to start thinking about, because your business is going to expand to the point not only that you're going to employ people, but you want to bridge that skill gap. I talk about people who are into technology, or people who are into technical work such as mechanic, plumbing, those type of things. You guys, I always push for you guys to not only think about how to get yourself out there, but also to bridge the skill gap within our community and start mentoring people, mentoring kids. Let them know that these industries are still in need. So we have to learn how to build the skill gap, okay? Infrastructure defects, these are some of the things that we talked about last week. Your business can be one of the business that fills the gap. Do you need a storage unit in your area? Hey, maybe you needed to have storage for whatever items that you use. Maybe you need a big parking lot for something. But you can always expand your business idea into a community-based need. And we're talking about this because our business plan is not going to only be focused on the first 2 to 3 years. It's going to be focused on 5 years down the line. You want to show the lender like, hey, not only do I have my finance together, I have my business plan together, but I am looking to give back to the community and start bridging the gaps on the needs around, all right? And I'll give you some examples as we make our business plan starting next week. So another thing that we have to pay attention to is limited education and opportunities. Again, you have to bridge the gap. If you specialize in something and you know that where you're from, they don't have that. Maybe you want to educate people about the best way to, how can I say, be a lawyer. I'm talking about careers, those type of things. These are the things that you want to talk about with the younger people in your area, and also start to connect that to your business. Because again, when you go to get money from the lenders, they want to know that you have a skills base as well. You don't always have to be a high-ranking professional, but they want to know that you have some type of skill base, and it may connect to your business. Let's just keep that in mind, okay? So you want to expand the limited education opportunities within your community. Again, bridging the gap, offering weekend programs yourself. As we talked about last week, you may can mentor a child that they can be someone who worked for you in 2 years from now. We have went out to DeKalb County, and I attended a DeKalb County, what was it, procurement, it was like a procurement day seminar, and it was telling us how to do business with DeKalb County. But I was asking some of the businesses was there, and I was asking some of the public officials, how do you bridge the educational gap, highlighting that a lot of us don't have a lot of money to pay for these high-ranking programs that's going to get us into these high-paying skills. Again, they had someone who fixes the buses. They contract and they fix the buses. That was a contractor that was there. Again, that's a mechanic. These are things that you want to start thinking about if you're in that industry, government contracts. But what I was asking is, do you offer incentives for business owners to actually fill that gap, to start bringing people who need education and bringing them in to do the technical work? So these are the things we have to think about, because there's not a lot of those programs available, and we want to create them in our community. So we highlight that. Moving into some of the system barriers, I think we talked about that a lot. System barriers historically and still going on. Discrimination practices can limit access to housing, employment, and other vital resources. And that's where you want to fill the gap. That's where you, as a business owner, an upcoming leader in your community, want to start to address these system barriers and start thinking about them right now, and how you can bring innovative ideas to your government officials, okay? So moving forward, business growth. This is the end-all, be-all of what we really want. I don't think a lot of us start business not to have growth, but I do think a lot of us don't think about the key elements we need to have growth. So business growth, tracking the number of new businesses in the area, okay? This is on a community level. The growth of existing business indicates the success of entrepreneurship, which create incentive. Now think about this too, because when we start talking about marketing, and I don't know if we're going to next week or the week after that, but this is a concept that you want to keep in mind. Can I start my business in my community, or do I have to start it in another community, or can I start it online? Which will be the best way, one, to be successful, and it's going to allow my business to grow in the existing market. Again, when you open a business, you're part of that community. So it don't always have to be your community, but if you're bringing your business to a particular area, start thinking about this, being a good neighbor, bringing, as we're going to talk about, bringing activity, community activities, and that'll allow you to market. We're going to get into that. So just in conclusion, economic development within the community is not just a moral and not a moral duty or imperative. It is an economic necessity. So we're not going to just think about our business here when we're making this business plan. That's what we're talking about. By investing in education, entrepreneurship, infrastructure, and community empowerment, we can unlock potential for areas that we start our business in, creating a more prosperous and equitable society. And again, what we're seeing right now is that we're not in an equitable society. We're starting to live in the place where it's the haves versus the have-nots. And that's not what we want to do. We want to correct that mistake. So it requires a long-term commitment, collaborative partnership, and focus on data-driven decisions. By working together, we can build a stronger, more vibrant community that offers opportunity for all residents to thrive. So this is our overall goal. Importance of promoting entrepreneurship. I think we went into that a little bit. Fostering community engagements, building more resilient community. Let's just kind of talk about that. Fostering.
Hello, Moto.
I do apologize. All right. Thank you for being here. Now, these concepts that we're talking about are concepts that I think that we all need to focus in on as we're creating our business plan. As we're creating our business, we can't just think about what we want. We got to think about what the society needs, because whatever the society needs, if we're able to bridge that gap, we're able to fill that need, we're able to have a successful business. Does that make sense? So let's talk about engagement and empowerment, building a stronger, more resilient society. How is that? All right. This is the why. We will always talk about the why. It improves decision making. All right. So community engagement goes beyond simply informing residents about what's going on. It's about actively involving them in decision making process and other processes that may affect their lives. It's a necessity to create spaces for dialogue, collaboration, and shared ownership. Empowerment. One-on-one, this is that we can do to help our community, meaning like we don't always have to have a big group thing going on. You can empower one person at a time, and that's not only going to help improve your community and the odds of that person doing well or whatever you're helping them with, but also start to build that unity and partnership that we need in our community. So, okay, the why behind engagement and empowerment. It improves decision making when residents actively participate in shaping the policies, okay, and incentive. The results are more likely to be relevant and effective and sustainable. Local knowledge and living experience offer valuable insight that informs better decisions, okay? And this is where we want the community to be engaged in what's going on, what we're bringing. Most recently, I was watching one of out of the South Side. What was it? It was the monthly meetings, and they were having a business to government meeting, I can say, where all the businesses in the community came to meet the public officials. It kind of bridged the gap of figuring out what they need, what's going on, some of the businesses need, and what the business can bring to the community. So this is some of the steps that you can take as well. And also you can find collaborative and partnerships when you attend this stuff. So again, improving decision making is one of the key concepts we need to build a stronger community. Increasing social cohesion happens after that. Enhanced problem solving capacity, because now we have everybody kind of on the same page. We have transparency. We have people getting information that they may have not had known that was available to them, because now we're engaging with each other. All right, and it's not just on the internet. We have our internet communities, but I'm talking like this so you can physically get out and meet people. All right, gathering economic opportunities, engaging and empowering communities are more often attracted to business, okay, and investors. The development of local skills, resources can also create new economic opportunities for residents. Stronger democracy, and that's our goal here. I know a lot of you guys have seen what has been going on, and it feels like a lot of us lost total control of our environment, our community. So again, if we're taking these steps to one, start to build a line of communication between us through business owners, community members, it helps us enhance our likability that we'll be successful when it comes to making legal decisions for our community, what we want in our community, what we don't, what businesses we want, what businesses we don't, what businesses we need, okay? All right, so again, we're gonna sum up a little bit more of strategies for fostering community engagement. So, creating accessible platforms for dialogue. This is something that you may want to think about. That's why towards the end of this economic development seminar, we talk about alternative ways to gain assets. What's our alternative assets that business owners can strive to get? And that asset also plays a part in your portfolio, how your portfolio looks. We want a diversified portfolio. Yes, you want to have a diversified portfolio when you're going in to go for a loan. Yes, because they're going to look at your credit history, what's going on with you, and then you're going to tell them, hey, I have assets. I have this. You know, I may not have a lot going on with my business, but I have this, and it makes you look more lendable, okay? So, moving forward, so we want people to focus in on engagement, empowerment. Again, we talked about investing in skill development, supporting local leaders who support the community, you becoming a local leader. As a business owner, you never know how far business may go in the area that you're in. You can be a local commissioner. You can be a secretary of treasury for the community. You never know how far it goes. So just don't cut yourself off from your goals. This is what I want people to get from this seminar. I think a couple of years ago, when a lot of people went in to start business, we didn't have an expansive plan. We didn't have a plan of what the market looked like. Where are we entering into? How can we strategically help what's going on, as well as enhance our visibility in the same instincts? And that's why we talk about community engagement. You yourself doing things for the community that's free, and that will allow people to get to know you, and you also to get to know their needs. I'm going to give you an example. One of the things I really want to do in the near future, God willing, in the next year or so, is have a family day. Family day in a particular area with business people, with just the community, where we learn how to have friendly competition, where you have tug of war, where you have a lot of outdoor, competition type of things, and it's family against family. And the good thing about that is not only that we will learn friendly competition, but we'll also get to know each other, vendors out there, those type of things. So I'm throwing ideas out there to you because it don't always have to cost a lot. You can pull together with people around and get these events out there, and then you can start getting information out to people they need. Maybe you're seeing a lot of homelessness in your community, and these are some of the things that you want to start to address, because if there's a lot of homelessness in your community or around your business, that means that the fair market value of your property may go down. So These are some of the things why it's important to foster community engagement and empowerment, and that should be the foundational building blocks of your business. The next thing that's very important is embracing diversity. It's very important. Now, you see what's going on. This is a very diverse nation, I do believe, and I do believe in when you allow diversity within your business, you allow more skills, you also allow for more creativity, and also allow for different creative avenues of getting things done, as well as different, if you make clothes, you may have someone from a different country that can get you a particular material at a discount price. So this is what I say, always be diverse. It's about evaluating people based on if they're an asset versus a liability. That's how we should evaluate people, okay? So keep it diverse, okay? Leverage technology, again, utilizing technology to reach a wider audience, facilitates communication, and provides access to information and resources, just like what we're doing here. We're in person and we're right here online with you, sharing information, sharing concepts that we want to, use as the building blocks for our business economic development in our community, okay? So let's get to it. Let's keep it moving. Hope you guys are having a great time. Thank you for popping in and out. We're halfway in. We're halfway through. Again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace. You can also call me Lady Lashley. I'm here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. where we talk about economic development strategies, okay? And the overall goal right now is to create an amazing business plan that's going to make you lendable. All right, so this is the next concept that we're going to get to before we get into business plan, the business plan outlook. We can't have an amazing community. We can't have all of these events going on, and we're building our business. We have all of these good things going on, but we're not able to pass generational wealth. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. Building a legacy, key concepts to passing down generational wealth. I do think that this is something that our community needs, because once we start these lucrative business, how we're going to keep up the legacy. But I have noticed in our community that lots of times we start businesses and we pass them down and they're liquidated. They are sold. We acquire homes and we pass them down and they're sold because our younger generation doesn't see the value in it. So building generational wealth and the foundation of economic development starts at home. We talked about our budgeting, savings, how we're going to save for business, getting our bills together, getting our credit. But then we have to pass down these same concepts to our kids, because while we're starting our younger generations, while we're working our business, those are the ones that's going to work with us in the beginning. All right, so the dream of leaving a lasting legacy for a future generation is a powerful motivator. Generational wealth isn't just about money. It's about transferring of value, knowledge, opportunities to empower those who come after us. However, simply acquiring wealth is not enough. Successfully passing it down requires careful planning, clear communication, and a commitment to installing the right mindset in your heirs. Here are some key concepts to understand to break down the journey of creating generational wealth. Okay, wealth, more than just money. While financial assets are undoubtedly part of the whole equation, consider the broader definition of wealth. It includes financial capital, human capital, social capital, and intellectual capital. Let's get into it. Financial capital: stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses, savings, and other tangible. Human capital, which is education, skills, knowledge, work ethic, okay, resilience, and the ability to learn and adapt. We have to look at social capital: strong relationships, networking, community involvement, and other endeavors will help build our social capacity. And these are some of the concepts that you want to start embedding into your kids, into the younger generation, talking about these things. Intellectual capacity, wisdom, value, traditions, family history, and the ability to make sound judgment. These are core values that you should be installing, not only in yourself, or you should have it, but in your kid. So when it's time to pass down generational wealth and or for them to create their own, they already have these concepts already running through their mind. Focus on all of these assets, create holistic approaches to wealth transfer, preparing your heirs to fulfill a successful life beyond just managing your money. Open and honest communication, breaking the silence with money. And I think that's what we have to talk about in the Black community, the way we spend. The worst thing I can hear is, I'm going to spend my money the way I want to. That's understandable, but is it sustainable for your growth and your family growth? Let's break it down. One of the biggest hurdle in generational wealth transfer is the lack of communication. Many families avoid talking about money, is uncomfortable, fear. Some people feel entitlement, concerns about privacy. However, transparency is very crucial, especially when you have your kids coming up under you and you're a single mother, single father, you're on a budget. You don't want to traumatize them, but you do want to be honest about your financial situation so you guys can make realistic decisions. So you want to start early. Don't wait until you're nearly close to retirement or your kids is in school age to begin these conversations. Age-appropriate discussions about money management, savings, and investment can start at a young age. Be honest and transparent. Share your values around money, your financial decisions, the kind of why behind it. Because if you don't, sometimes kids will build bitterness, not really understanding why you're trying to save money. You think you're protecting them, but you're kind of like creating a big division between you guys because the kids just don't understand. But again, don't traumatize them, as I say. And be open and honest about your estate plans, your future plans, within reason, depending on the age and the maturity of the child. So they'll understand, especially if they're about to go to college and you're trying to start your business and they're used to you living a certain lifestyle. But again, our goal is to first get strict. Our goal is to first get our household together, our financial situation, pay our bills, start lining things up. That's week 1 and week 2. Go check out those videos. And then we move on to the structure of our business. What are we kind of looking at? What is our idea? And those type of things, and how much money we may need. Again, now we got to bring those concerns back to our home. Now we have a budget for what we need, 6-7 months for what we have to save to get our inventory. But we have this budget for our household, how much we try to cut, how much we pay for our base bills versus the other bills. And we talked about what your base bill versus other bills, and still incorporating the savings plan. Remember, you're doing all of this while you're still a parent, you're still living your life. I would assume you're still working. You should be, because you need a base income, especially with starting a business. So we have to have those transparent conversations. Financial literacy, equipping the next generation, providing your heirs with solid foundations in personal finance is paramount. This includes budget and saving. You want to get them a piggy bank. You want to open an account for them. I started an account with my kids, probably like 7 or 8, 5 or 6. I remember going to the bank and they was putting all their pennies inside the penny counter. Just little things like that will start them to understand the concept of money. Budget and savings, investing as well. I started with my son early. He started a business at 14. So some of the things that he needed, the equipment he needed for his business, we had to start talking about that. Okay, what are we gonna do? You make this money, you gotta save for this equipment. I'll go half with you. So it made him a little bit more comfortable to buy bigger equipment. Met him in the middle. He knew about budgeting a little bit to save. So these were concepts that he needed right there, just in the start. So investing is something that you can talk to your kids about as well. Investing in something that they want, or something that they need. And you can start to, harness their ability to be disciplined in that practice by giving them things to do, not just chores, but making them responsible for something that they may like, these things around the house, and actually giving them a good allowance and allowing them to put it to the side. Some parents even match that allowance, giving their kids more incentive and more aware about money matching. Does that make sense? So start early, because these are going to be the heirs to your business. These are going to be the heirs to your generational wealth. Debt management. Educate them about responsible borrowing and the dangers of excessive debt and how to build credit, depending that is age appropriate. I started when my kids were in high school because I homeschooled. So I knew that that was something that I wanted to teach them about. So they had a bank account at an early age, and they were able to have their debit card and, do a little bit spending. All right, so the next thing, consider enrolling them in a financial literacy course if that's doable. For yourself, consider hiring a financial advisor or going to some seminars that help you get more acquainted to things that financial advisors may help you with. Simply sharing your own experience and lessons that you have learned is very important with your kids. I learned not to have more than 4 or 5 credit cards, because my mother had a whole thing of credit cards. She had like 20-something credit cards, and it was not good. I saw the process of that. So again, you want to talk them through some of that stuff. Tell them what you went through so they won't make the same mistakes as you. Estate planning. Creating a structured transition. A comprehensive estate planning is essential for ensuring assets are distributed accordingly to your wishes and minimize taxes. If you guys know about trust, we offer a trust seminar. We'll leave the information down at the bottom. That's just another instrument that you can use to transfer your assets with a little bit more control of how your assets will be distributed, when, and what criteria they will meet. Okay, but a comprehensive estate plan is essential to ensure your assets is distributed accordingly. Things like a will, a legal document outlining how your assets will be distributed after your death. We're at 40 and above, guys. I know y'all don't think about it. I think y'all young, but I think y'all kids around 20 and above like me. And we talk about these type of things. These are the things that, hey, you probably be the primary. We're going to do things 50-50 between you and your sibling, and just start to talk to them about it if they're ready for those particular conversations. Again, I talked about another avenue you can use, trust, which is a legal structure that can hold assets and provide direct instruction for their management and distribution. Trust can offer great control, privacy, and tax advantages. The next thing is power of attorney. Designating someone to make financial and legal decisions on your behalf if you become incapacitated. These are the things that we need to think about now. Having insurance. Insurance is the thing that I really think that we lack in the Black community, and I do think that that is a form of passing generational wealth. I've seen a lot of nations who actually do that, ensuring that they have insurance policies for their kids. So if something happens, things will be paid off and they'll be able to sustain themselves. That's another form of wealth transfer outside of just leaving a estate to them, like a home. Healthcare directive, this is something you want to talk about. Again, this is the things that it is part of our generational wealth talk. Healthcare directive, outline your wishes regarding medical treatment if you are unable to communicate that. Those are things that will take active at the time of those situations, so you have nothing to worry about. So consult an estate planner, attorney, financial advisor to create a plan that meets your specified need. I'm going to say this. AI has been a great help. AI, sometimes you can put it in ChatGPT and it can probably help you out with coming up with some estate planning or outline. Again, because installing values, building a strong foundation for responsible wealth management is the key. More than just financial literacy, literally strong ethical values is crucial to ensure your heirs are responsible stewards of your wealth. So we want to start off with work ethic. Yes, if they're going to work for you, you're going to pay them. You didn't get a job, even if you're well off. You want to have some type of work ethic installed in your kids. Encourage them to pursue their own passions and develop a strong work ethic, independent of inheriting money. All right? Responsibility. Emphasize the importance of responsibility, financial management, and the potential consequences of mismanagement. You don't always want to bail them out again, because that your kids can become your liability. We talked about assets and liability, and sometimes your kids can, and it's because a lot of their foundational education and their primary development have got them there. And who did that? Us. So that's why we're trying to flip the tables, okay? Again, your kids can be an asset or a liability, so you want to install good values in them now. Even if they stray, they'll come back. Seeking professional guidance, leverage experience. Seek a financial advisor, as we talked about, estate planner if you had any questions. I'm not a legal advisor, so this is all for information educational purposes, but they do have specialists that's out there. Also, if you need to consult an accountant, all right, help you get yourself together. Now, we're going to start talking about business plan. Okay, creating a business plan that secures your company a business loan. We are 35 minutes in, so now this is the part where it gets a little bit fun. Everything that we talked about at the beginning of this video was more for mind concepts. It was going over everything that we went over for the last 4 to 5 weeks, just kind of summing it up. You guys just go back and look at your notes, some of the things that we talked about for bridging the gap and making you an effective leader. Now we have to take the pen to paper. When you're growing a business, one of the most crucial steps towards scaling the business is securing funding. Among the most common and effective sources of capital is a business loan. However, banks, financial institutions don't just hand money out to everybody or any aspiring entrepreneur. They want to ensure that the investment is safe and well generated, and so the investment is safe and it surrounds a well-generated plan. I do apologize. All right, so a strong business plan isn't just a document outlining your company goals. It's a strategic tool that proves your business is valuable, forward-thinking, capable of repayment. In this post, in this particular part, we're going to guide you through creating a business plan that is not only reflective of strength of your company, but also the future plans of your company. So get your business plans together. Let's go. I want you guys to go get your PDF, and we're going to start just outlining some things. So why plan masters, it says why a business plan master a secure loan. Okay, so it validates your business model, because that's some of the things that we talked about. The management, who's going to be managing some of our things, how many people are going to be working for us in a year or two. What do I need to get my product out? So that talks about your business model. It's going to be within your business plan. So secure a loan, you want to have your business model. It outlines how you will use the loan. That's a portion that we're going to go over. It shows that you can generate enough revenue to pay the loan. You want to talk about what you have coming in from your business, what platforms your business is already on, how you have been doing, and how you fund your loan. It communicates your long-term vision and risk management. Hey, if this doesn't happen the way I want it, I have a backup plan, and this is how it's going to work. In short, a compelling business plan is your company's best advocate when seeking funds. Key components to loan-worthy businesses. 1, you want to have an amazing executive summary. Okay, think of this as your business elevator pitch. All right, 3 minutes. Even though it appears first, consider writing it last. That's after you get everything together. You can put it together now, but just know after you structureize your whole business plan, you may go back and kind of change it up. So even though it appears first, consider writing it last after you have crafted all of your sections. Include, this is pretty basic information, your company name, location, your mission statement. Your mission statement will be at the beginning of your business plan. Description of your product under there. Summary of funding needed and intended use.
Hello, Moto.
this is one of the first things that you want to have kind of like on page 1 or 2. The first 2-3 pages is basically kind of like a synopsis to the lender, exactly of some of the things that they want to see, and they want to get a summary of your funding needs and intended use. You're going to go into that when you talk about your finances and projected money you're going to be making as well. That's where the detail comes in. Key financial highlights and growth projection. You want to have a little paragraph that say, hey, well, based on my industry, it looks like it is $1 million industry, and in my particular sector where I specialize in this, it's a potential for me to make this amount of money based on these avenues that I'm using. Kind of like just sum it up just a little bit, because you're going to go more into that in your marketing section. But again, these are the first few paragraphs that you're going to need for your business plan. So the executive summary is going to consist of these concepts, okay? So it's going to be like a little essay, the first 5 paragraphs. The executive summary is going to include the company name, location, mission statement, first paragraph. Description of the product, second paragraph. Third paragraph, summaries of the funds needed. I need this money because my product, this is the way that we build the product and how I get the product out. Just something, a basic summary. And I'm going to use this money to buy more product, or I'm going to use this money to market. Whatever you're going to do, you put it in there. This is page 1. Okay, key financial highlights and projection. Again, that is kind of like the closing of your executive summary. This is the first part of your business plan, okay? So your tips to you to consider is 1, be clear, be compelling. You're making an offer to them. And you want them to kind of look at this, like make a decision in 3 minutes. If they had 3 minutes to just look at this, this is something that sums up if they can make a great decision. Okay, so company description. Again, I need you guys to look at this information in detail, okay? It's not, hey, I'm just company, I make soaps and the soaps smell good. No, we want provide detailed look at your business. You want the legal structure. I'm a LLC. Incorporated in the state of Georgia. I am targeting the market in this particular area because I create this amazing soap, and I have noticed that these people in this particular area love this fragrance, so I incorporated this fragrance in my target market. Unique value and position. We just kind of talked about that unique value and position. This is in your company description. Unique value and prescription. What sets you apart from other competitors? Hey, I found out that in this particular rural area that they don't have this particular soap, and they have this beautiful fragrance that they love, and I'm able to incorporate it in the soap. And I think I already tried this market out, and it looks like I'm making some money up there. So your unique value is what you want to highlight in the company description. In the history, if you're already operating, like I just said, or funding story. Hey, I'm funding myself right now with my business. I have collaborators, I have business partners, whatever it is, this is what you're going to add in your company description. So I gave you 4 bullet points for your company description. That is 1, the legal structure of it. This is what you're going to tell them about, the industry and your target market, unique values of your position in the market, in the history. What have you been doing to move forward with your business? How are you already operating? These sections establish your business legitimacy and marketing relevance. Does that make sense? Now, 3, marketing and analyze. Now, we're just going to do a little paragraph. These are paragraphs because particular section is going to be longer and more detailed, and they do have charts. But market analyzation. Leaders want to see that you have done your homework. Present data-driven insight, market size, growth in threads in that particular market. Yes, this is all Googleable. And I would say this market analysis section, probably you want to do 3 separate paragraphs, nice and robust, and kind of like sum it up. Remember, 3 paragraphs is 5 sentences, guys. So mark the size and the growth and trends in your product, target customers, geographic, what is the pain points in your industry, what is the good points in your industry, competitive analysis, identify key players, and analyze their strength and weakness. Now, in this little section, you can say, hey, well, in my industry where I educate on tax liens and tax deeds, there's probably like a good handful of people who actually do that. So I'll say I only have 5 competitors, and this is what they focus on. But the difference between me is that 1, I'm a woman, 2, I'm African American, 3, I have a legal background, which others may not have. Just what is my competitive edge for the market? So again, in the market analysis section, it's going to be 3 paragraphs: market size and growth possible. You want to target customers, geographic, who am I targeting? Next, you want a competitive analysis. Who am I in competition with? How are they doing? And this is part of the business plan structure. So we're now probably like on page 3 of our business plan. If you don't know, I just want you guys to reiterate what we have talked about. We're at the beginning of our business plan. The executive summary, we gave you 4 bullet points to pay attention to. Go back and listen. Then we went into company description. It's not just a paragraph. You want to talk about your legal structure, the industry, market, your unique position, the history. Market analysis, we just broke that down to you. That's when you're moving on. You're going to highlight these sections, market analysis. But the 3 things that you're going to address within your market analysis is market growth, the trends, target customers, competitive edge. Demonstrate a clear understanding of your market, showing the lender that demands existed for what you're offering. That's what you want to show the lender right here. In the first few pages, before they even get far, they're going to know, okay, this person is lendable. Organization and management. We kind of talked about that 2 weeks ago when I was like, hey, you're going to have a manager, you're going to have a contract that's going to market for you. You need to start thinking about that now, because in this particular section, organization and management, who is going to run the show? Introduce your team. Key personnel and their relevant experience. Is it just going to be you? How are you going to run the show? Organizational structure for now and possibly the future. How is that going to happen? We're going to get into that in detail in the next couple of weeks. Advisory board or external consultation. Hey, I have a lawyer that's going to help me because this is my particular market. It's a little bit, and I need to make sure that I'm safe. They want to know that. This is something that's going to make you look more lendable and make them know that you know what you're doing. Lenders look for capable leaders. If your core team has industry experienced people or tracks of success that's highlighted, is going to make you more lendable. Now, we're moving into the products and services. Product and services. Now, this is where we're going to stop at right here when it comes to product and services, because I need you guys to really take your time and think about this. Detail what you are offering and its value. Detail what you are offering and its value, not only to you, to the market, but to the community that you're offering it to. That brings us right back to the economic development for community leaders, because now you're thinking like a community leader for whatever your product is, okay? Explain customer benefit. This is under your product and services. So describe your product, service, and the life cycle of it. What it takes to build it, what it takes to get it out, what it takes to market it, not in that order, but this is what you want to address in the product and service section. That's going to be like a whole page, at least 5 paragraphs, where I need you guys to break it down. They really want to know what's your product, that you have the ins and outs, you know how long it takes to get made, how long it takes to get distributed to you or to your buyers, how long is the process, those type of things. Discuss intellectual property, patents, and trademarks. If you can, I mentioned to you guys, that is an asset. I don't care if you have a little product or a little idea, but if you're really, really true about it, go get a trademark, go get a patent. It's going to protect you in the future, especially if you're really serious about your business, and you can include that in your business plan. You can show them that you're serious about it. So show lenders that you have a clear plan to convert interest into revenue. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to stop right there. I want you guys to, this week, go into creating your executive summary that we're going to just highlight one more time. This business plan that you made is gonna be so detail orientated and so robust and so amazing that they're gonna look at it and just give you all the money. So with your executive summary, it's not a two-second, two-paragraph, two-line thing. Company name, location, description, product, summary of funds, key financial highlights. You want to go into the company description? I gave you 4 key concepts to pay attention to. Market analysis, I gave you 3 concepts to pay attention to. Know your competitors. Add that within your business plan that you know what's going on with your competitors as well and your target market. Organizational management. This year it's just going to be me. I'm going to be working with people, a wholesaler that can get this particular part of my product out to me, and I'm going to design it and I'm going to send it out. But next year I'm going to have someone who market. I'm going to have someone who could just do the whole product for me and ship it out. But you want to show the growth, okay? Now, again, you're going to get into more detail about the products and services, not the description of your product, but the description of your product and services. Describe your product and service and the life cycle of it from beginning to the end, from how you start to create it and how it gets to your customer. This is what you want to break down in paragraph form, okay? And also explain the customer benefit and how they'll be so happy to get it. Again, you're going to go into marketing and sales strategies. I think that's next week. This is what we're going to talk about next week. Marketing and sales strategies, funding requests, financial projections. We're going to get into that next week. And I think we have a little bit more too to show you guys. So get your business plans out. I gave you 3 sections to work on, possibly 4 if you can get it done. And by next week, we're going to be moving on into some heavy hitters because we need to talk about market analysis. I told you, you have competitors. Look at your competitors this week because next week we're going to get into your competition and how you can use that to help build your business as well as show the lenders that you're paying attention to the market. With that being said, thank you for being with us today. If you don't know, we will be in Atlanta. We have Atlanta Food Giveaway at 3:30, where we have 99 meals to give away. We have chicken parmesan today. So if you don't know about that, please hit our sister channel, Miss Grace Lashley. We'll see you in a few. Please hit the like button and thank you for being with us today.